title fight after 2 tortured years, and tonight's events probably just cap it all off. Adam Smith reporting.
I have a dream. I have a dream.
In December 1997, it all came together for Cardiff's Barry Jones. 23 years old, unbeaten, and a WBO super featherweight title win over Colombian Wilson Palacios. The world seemed his oyster.
To win the world title is for me, was the pinnacle, and like, you know, I thought it was just going to go from strength to strength.
But then it went crashing down.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, then it went crashing down. Yeah.
He was stripped of the belt in April '98 after his annual MRI showed a change from his previous brain scan. His license was suspended, his life placed on hold.
Frustration beyond, you know, beyond any comprehension. You know, I didn't know what I was doing in my life. No one could live with me. You know, it was just a pain to get on with me. I was associating with different people than my usual friends, because I wasn't the same person.
But an appeal was allowed by the British board, and his licence was granted again in November '98. Barry Jones made his comeback in June last year after 18 months enforced absence and won his 18th fight against fellow Welshman Chris Williams. He was to have fought new WBO champion Acelino Freitas shortly afterwards. That was delayed until now. But then last weekend, another article saying he shouldn't be boxing.
He should not be put under this type of pressure. It's wrong that it should be done. It's wrong it should have been sensationalised this way.
I know the story's a total fabrication. It didn't bother me. It didn't upset me, and I got a lot of publicity since. So, you know, it's just added the excitement of the fight.
Yet more trouble for Barry even in the last 24 hours. Controversy as to Freitas' weight and with his contract. But finally it is on as the thunderous puncher meets the light-hitting craftsman.
We're not going to see a Barry Jones knockout, are we?
First of all, I can't. You never know your luck, do you? You could slip, couldn't you, on some banana skins or something, you know. I chuck some Brazil nuts on the floor and you go flying, and, you know, that's it then.
So Barry Jones, on point, champion again.
That's right. You can count on it.
Fairy tales do happen. First for you, Barry McGuigan, on the record here, is this fighter at extra risk, in your opinion, in a dangerous business?
No, I think that that was a misunderstanding in the scans. I don't think he's in any more risk at all than he was before. Going in with a puncher like Freitas, he's in the danger zone. There's no doubt about that. But that's the risk you take on board when you box professionally, and that's what we all accept. It's a tough fight for him. Just let's put it that way. It's a very much he's very much the underdog. But I don't think it's as easy for Freitas as everybody imagines it's going to be. He's going to be mobile. He's going to be difficult to hit. It's going to be difficult for Freitas to land his punches on him. And with all of the confusion, the controversy that's happened over the last few days, that will give him maybe a psychological, balance it up psychologically too.
We try to be dispassionate. We try to look at the records and make judgments. Barry Jones does not have the experience comparable to his opponent.
No doubt about that. He certainly doesn't have the experience. He doesn't have the power, and you wonder how he can beat someone like Freitas, because Freitas is fast-handed. He hunts you down and he gets you and he nails you. He's a fast puncher. However, Jones is a slippery customer. He's a very tight defence. He's a neat little boxer and very courageous, and he's never been knocked out before. So, and he's got a tough. He's a very strong, durable guy, very determined.
Freitas, 23 wins in his pro career, 23 knockouts.
Yeah, ferocious puncher. They say he's the new Duran. He's an exceptional fighter. Everybody wants him, hence the problems with his contracts.
Everybody wants a piece of the action.
Everybody wants a piece of him because he's just Mr. Excitement in the super featherweight division. But, you know, each fight is different, and let's see how he approaches this one. You certainly make him a strong favourite, but, you know, surprises happen in this game, and it's full of them. So let's see how he performs tonight. He's certainly a very exciting young man, and I can't wait to have a look at him.
Thank you, Barry. It's a very exciting prospect here tonight. The good news for Barry Jones is that he does get the chance he's had to campaign for in and out of the ring. So now is he good enough to seize his opportunity?
first day of our break, decided to grab breakfast by the sea. Stunning roads.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the main event of the evening, the WBO Super Featherweight Championship of the World. And will you please welcome first to the ring, the challenger for the title from Cardiff in Wales, Barry Jones.
Well, after 2 years of trials and torture and tribulation, Barry Jones gets a chance to regain the world title that he never lost in the ring. But he's really up against it here tonight, in with one of the biggest punchers in world boxing. But he says this is the fight that he wanted, because he says if he beats Acelino Freitas, who people in boxing are really talking about, he really will gain recognition. But to be honest with you, nobody really fancies him to do it outside his own family.
No, it's a very, very tough match for him. Freitas is exceptional, good hand speed, a big puncher, and it's a tough task for Jones, but he's a very likeable kid. He's come through an awful lot to get back to this point. So, I mean, you know, he's going to try really hard. You know, he's sensible. He's going to give it his best shot. He's a very good boxer and easy to be underestimated.
And here's something about Barry Jones. He's never been on the floor in his life, and he started boxing when he was 10 years old. He'll need all that punch resistance and all his skills tonight. Meanwhile, Acelino Freitas prepares to make his entrance backstage.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the current WBO Super Featherweight Champion of the World from Brazil, please welcome Acelino Freitas.
Well, this is a young fighter that is really being talked about in the business. 23 fights, 23 wins, all of them by knockout, and 19 of them inside 3 rounds. He could be a puncher in the mold of a Julian Jackson, who was one of the most chilling punchers of recent years. And some people say that he reminds them of a young Roberto Duran. But is he really that good?
Well, that's very high praise indeed, but he's got nothing wrong so far. 23 wins in 23 fights. You know, he's only 24 years of age, and he's an exceptional talent. Big puncher. You know, he's almost knocked everybody out. There's a lot of 19 inside 3 rounds and 23 KO wins. I mean, this guy has got some firepower, so it's going to be a tough one for Jones.
Acelino Freitas, 24 years of age. If he has got a chink in his armour, though, it might be weight problems. This is what the tail of the tape says. Jones a year older at 25. They're both 5 feet 7. Freitas struggled to make that 9 stone 4 pounds, and I don't think he ever did get inside the limit. I saw the scales. He was 2 ounces over. Make no mistake about it, but got away with that. Reach advantage for Freitas. Jones made his debut 3 years before the champion, who's had 4 more fights, but Jones has boxed a lot more rounds, has to go the distance every time. He admits himself he's no kind of puncher. Freitas, as you heard, really is. Look at that, 100% knockout percentage. Jones, 5%. 12 rounds scheduled. Well, Barry Jones has completed the 12 rounds on 3 occasions. Freitas has never done that, but that is because he's never had to.
Ladies and gentlemen, this contest is sanctioned and conducted under the rules of the World Boxing Organization. President Francesco Valcasel, whose appointed official and ringside as supervisor is Lord Brooks of Cremorfa. The British Boxing Board of Control steward, Mr. Dennis Lockton, and the timekeeper at the bell, Mr. Barry Pinder of Sheffield. The judges at ringside, Mr. Luca Montella of Italy, Mr. Manuel Oliver of Spain, and Mr. Paul Thomas of Derby. And the referee in charge of this, his 25th World Title contest from New York, Mr. Samuel Vermouth. My lords, ladies and gentlemen, live and exclusive on Sky Sports from the Dome in Doncaster, it's big fight time. Frank Warren, in association with John Rushton, proudly presents World Championship Boxing and a contest of 12 3-minute rounds to decide the WBO Super Featherweight Championship of the world. And introducing the boxers, and firstly, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the blue shorts, trimmed with yellow and white. He comes from Cardiff in Wales, and at the official weigh-in, weighed 9 stone, 2.5 pounds. He holds a 19-fight professional record, 18 wins, 1 win by knockout, and 1 draw. He's the former undefeated WBO Super Featherweight Champion of the world, and the WBO ranked #1 challenger for the title. Please welcome to Doncaster, the pride of Wales, Barry Jones. And across the ring, ladies and gentlemen, in the red corner, wearing the white trunks and trimmed with yellow, coming from Brazil. He weighed in at 9 stone, 4 pounds, the championship limit. He holds a 23-fight professional record, a perfect record, 23 wins, all 23 wins by way of knockouts. He's the current WBO Super Featherweight Champion of the world from Brazil, Acelino Freitas. The referee, Mr. Samuel Wolf, will now give his instructions to both boxers.
So what a test, what a mountainous test for Barry Jones from the tough Ely area of Cardiff, the same area that produced Steve Robinson, the former world featherweight champion. He'll have to have a clear strategy not to stay in front of this fella. Freitas, 40,000 people watched his first defence in Brazil. He's as big a star there as all of the famous footballers, with the exception of Ronaldo. A huge name. There are 30 journalists and radio and TV people who've travelled over to watch this. It's going live to Brazil as well tonight, this fight. But how long is it going to last? Due to go 12. Barry Jones of Wales in the blue trunks trying to regain his WBO Super Featherweight title in the 9 stone 4 pounds division. A key moment's going to be the first time that Freitas detonates one of his big shots. And look at that! That wasn't in the script! Jones! A left hook puts Freitas down in the opening seconds! That's amazing. And his gum shield's come out too. His gum shield has come out, and I think he spat that out to get more time.
Well, I think he did. I'm sure he did. He'll need all the time he can get. He was caught there. He just rushed in, a little short hook from the non-puncher, Barry Jones, and Freitas is on the floor.
Well, that is absolutely incredible. Just left himself open, and that will be a massive confidence boost for Barry Jones. It may, of course, have the effect of concentrating the mind of Freitas.
But you've got to wonder about his physical condition. If somebody, you know, who's not used to hurting anybody can all of a sudden put Freitas on the floor. You know, is he so weight trained? Punches like that will hurt him.
You have to ask that question. He was stripped naked on the scales last night, Freitas, and even people in the camp were a bit worried about whether he might be weight trained. He used to be a lightweight, which is the division ahead of this at 9 stone 9. little blotch already on the cheek, though, of Jones. The left cheek. Oh, big-looking left hook from Freitas there. Jones took it. Jones, who's done no sparring in preparation for this fight. Oh, and he's called that time by the right hand. They're both down now in the opening round. Down for the first time in his career. Feels the power of the Brazilian and blinks. Is he okay? Can Freitas take him out in this first round? There's still a minute left of it. That's the bad news for Jones. Freitas is lining him up for these heavy shots. Huge left hook to the body, driving a right hand through as well. And it's a real crisis for Jones. That's another body shot, doubles him up and puts him down. He's badly hurt. 7. He bravely gets up with the count at 9. And there is, 35 seconds of the round left. Freitas wants to take this man out who put him down in the opening seconds. These are huge punches. There's no 3 knockdown rule here. So Jones could afford to go down again without it constituting an automatic end of the fight. What an opening round. Can Jones possibly get through this? He badly needs to hold on, do anything. He's cut as well on the cheeks and the bell goes. And I don't know how Barry Jones did get through it, because Freitas, after that early scare, looked absolutely frightening.
Yes, he did. He just rushes in. Little short, choppy left hook, leaves himself open and finds himself surprisingly on the floor. And that was a massive shock to see Freitas on the floor and hurt by Barry Jones. It was a terrific start, but then Freitas lands with a big right hand there, and he's badly hurt by that punch. Long right hand, right on the chin. The legs betray him, and he looks dazed at that point. Putting on the pressure again. Freitas, he was just sure he wanted to get him out of there in this first round. You obviously upset at being put on the floor. He was trying to finish it here and now, and big punches from Freitas.
And remember, Barry Jones had never been down in his life before. He has now twice in one round against this huge hitter from Brazil, from the poor city of Salvador, where live live 10 to a room. Freitas, the Brazilian, probably the best Brazilian boxer since the great Ide Joffre, the bantamweight and featherweight champion of the 60s and 70s, who only lost twice in 78 fights, both times to Fighting Harada. Oh, he's caught again, Jones. These punches are rocking him to the soles of his boxing boots.
But Jones is under pressure. He needs to get his punches going himself. He needs to get that jab working, trying to keep Freitas off balance.
The trouble with Jones is, although he's a neat boxer, he's not that elusive. He's not really giving Freitas any lateral movement. This guy is just pinning him against the ribs. It's another huge punch. How did he take that one, Jones, and not go down? It was a thunderbolt right hand. Getting the gloves up well, Jones. Maybe that minute he had to let his head clear has had some effect, but is it only a temporary respite?
Well, he really has to try and get through these early rounds and then see how Freitas is, how his stamina is. That doesn't get tested too often.
3 knockdowns already. Freitas down early, then Jones twice. Good right hand from Barry Jones. He's beginning to just get a bit of life back into the legs again. Can he find a way back into this contest? He has to be light on his feet. He has to stop Freitas loading up on him. Terrific atmosphere in this particular dome, the one in Yorkshire. Good left hook again from Jones. There was a very good left hook to the body. That was the one that did the damage. And he's hurt, he's wincing in pain. 7, 8, oh, he really had to ask himself a lot of questions before getting to his feet, Jones, showing tremendous bravery. These punches are hurting, doubling him up. You can feel them from here, can't you, Glenn?
Yes, he can't take many more left hooks to the body like that. They really are hard, crunching punches. He's got to try and keep busy, but it's so hard when you're under pressure like this.
Chilling power, has to get off those ropes, Jones. He just has to get away from there somehow. And he gets through another round. Touches gloves with Freitas in recognition of the quality that he's facing. And it is quality, believe me.
Yes, it is quality. I mean, he's just stalking Jones down, using that jab, getting him into range, and then unleashing these tremendous punches. And the left hook to the body, we'll see it here. A vicious punch, finds the gap, and you know, it's thrown with speed and devastating power.
What do you think of the fact that Jones did no sparring for this fight? He says it's nothing to do with the brain scare he had, but just to save him wear and tear. But you've got to spar for this guy.
You've got to spar, Ian. There's fighters who haven't sparred a lot, and sometimes too much sparring is a bad thing because there's wear and tear. But you have to do some sparring. That's the only way you get your own timing. You get used to your opponent's timing, you know, and you get used to punches. So it's a big mistake for him not sparring.
And watching all of this in Jones's corner is his own father, Dennis, who works on the pads with him. What must he be going through, seeing his son take these kind of shots? It's the 3rd round. He looks a frightening proposition, doesn't he, this Brazilian? And he's got the life back in his legs for the moment, Barry Jones. His one hope, really, I think, here is maybe to take Freitas into the later rounds, and if he is weak at the weight, maybe then he'll start to tire. That was a good left hand from Jones. He's getting a lot of encouragement from the travelling Welsh fans, and plenty of them have come up here to Doncaster to see this.
Yes, yeah, you know, your point before, I think that's right. I think that's got to be his game plan. Try and hang in there, you know, get through these early rounds, and then start building up the point and making Freitas work, take him into the later rounds where, you know, his stamina might tell because of losing the weight.
And if Jones could do it, and you wouldn't put a penny on it at this stage, it would be one of the greatest performances by a British boxer, well, in history, really, I think. Remember, he's only had one fight in the last 2 years. He's hurt by another right hand, down for the 4th time. Samuel Virouet looking closely into his eyes. He gets up at 8. Virouet takes a close look at him. Jones is okay. Well, as okay as you can be facing a guy like Freitas.
Well, he hadn't been down before, Jones, but he's making up for it in this fight. Freitas putting him down every time he lands out a big shot.
Just can't really get his boxing going, and that's what he's usually about. There's another right hand and another rib cruncher to the body, too, from Freitas. It's so big around the shoulders as well. You can see where the power comes from.
Well, he really has melted down from a weight heavier, you know, so he carries much more power.
The weigh-in was 24 hours ago. What weight is he in there now?
Well, I would guarantee he's up near a stone heavier.
He's been so brave, Jones, really, just to suck all this up and stay in there this far. Did well to avoid the worst of those shots with good head movement on the ropes, Barry Jones. With a little hold-up, just to dust off the gloves, will be in Jones's favour. He needs every little break he can get. There's the bell. He's got through 3 rounds, and 19 of the 23 of Freitas' opponents haven't. Welcome back to the Doncaster Dome, and thunderous action here for the WBO Super Featherweight title, with knockdowns in every round so far, And Barry Jones, the Welshman, down 4 times, having put Freitas down in the opening seconds. Look at that punch.
Excellent right hand. He just timed it so beautiful. The left jab went out. Just seen the gap over top of the shoulder and let it go. Beautiful punch.
Here's the 4th round. Barry Jones, the former electrician from Cardiff. He really could have done with a couple of warm-up fights before getting in with a fellow like Acelino Freitas, but I'm not sure you can warm up to face this quality. Not very effectively anyway.
I would have helped him to have some warm-ups, you know, and then not having sparring. I think, you know, that was a mistake, but he, you know, he's trying his best, but keeps running the big right hands from Freitas.
These really are punches to scramble the senses that Freitas is throwing all the time. He really digs his toes into the canvas to get the leverage.
The left hook to the body makes Jones back up once more.
He comes out quite fresh every round, Jones. It's a good right hand from him. He's had his moments in there, but they've been fleeting ones. The one good sign for him was that Freitas was really gulping for air, I noticed, between the rounds.
Yes, he was. Big gulps of air. And at times you see him during the round take a gulp.
Well, a lot of people thought Barry Jones wouldn't get this far against this dynamite hitter from Brazil. Sneak little right hand. Oh, it's a lovely right uppercut. Maybe the best punch thrown so far, I thought that, by Jones, to go with his left hook right at the start.
Jones starting to get his punches off. This is what he's got to try and do as Freitas tires, and Freitas has worked hard in the first 3 rounds. This is where Jones needs to start coming on and building up some points.
He actually fought, didn't he, Freitas, like a fighter who felt he needed to get it over early. Put so much into those first 3 rounds. This is good from Barry Jones. This is what he needs. Lateral movement. Not let Freitas get set. Can't stay on the ropes. Got to keep on his bike all the time. It's got to be a hit and run rate, hasn't it?
It does. Good jab from Jones. He's got to keep moving, but he's got to keep using that jab, keep punching all the time.
This is a good round so far for Barry Jones. That could change in an instant, of course. Quarter of a minute left in the round. So far it's the first round in which he hasn't been on the floor. There's a good right hand. Still nice and light on his feet, but he's got to get off those ropes. He must get off those ropes. And he gets through the round without going down. Welcome back to Doncaster. It's a breathless kind of fight this. It's Ronnie Rush from Trinidad working the corner.
Yeah, he managed to pick away with some nice little punches. There's a good uppercut from Jones. Some good work. I didn't think he did enough to win the round, but you'll probably get a share in it.
5th round. White trunks of the defending champion Acelino Freitas. His 3rd defense of the title he won against Anatoly Alexandrov, a good fighter who was knocked out in a round, in fact knocked unconscious for 5 minutes and taken to hospital overnight. That's how big a puncher Freitas is. Jones got it right, I thought, strategically in that last round, but can he continue that? Just kind of pulled Freitas and almost sent him reeling out of the ring. Frank Warren should have offered the Prime Minister a ringside seat for this one as well, shouldn't he?
Well, he'll have enjoyed this one.
I'm not sure Jones is. This is good, though. He's got it right here strategically, as long as he can keep doing this. But Freitas will try to cut him up on the corners. He's never been further than 8, Freitas, in his entire professional career. Even in the amateurs, he was knocking everybody out. 77 knockouts in 88 fights in the amateurs. That's amazing, isn't it?
Really is. Very, very heavy-handed. And you know, that's the problem that Jones faces. Even if he starts picking up and scoring points and winning rounds, there's always the danger that he gets caught one of these big punches from Freitas.
Is Freitas tiring because of his problems making the weight? That's the little extra added ingredient here. He's doing rather less. That's because Jones is making sure, by dancing and side-to-side movement, that it's harder for him to close the range and offload the shots.
Jones is keeping out of the way, but he's still got to throw punches himself. It's no good just using the lateral movement. He's got to be in and pick up points.
Again, a little gasp for breath from Freitas. Being made to work for it, and he hasn't often had to work that hard in recent contests. That's a nice little sneak right hand from Jones, who's just beginning to get his act together here.
Good left hook there as well from Jones.
Last few seconds of this, the 5th round. It's another round in which Jones has got through without any kind of crisis. In fact, he might have just taken this round with his boxing, you know.
Yeah, I think he has. I think he's just been a bit here.
Live American football for you, Sky Sports 3 Sunday afternoon. The divisional playoffs, the St. Louis Rams against the Minnesota Vikings and the Indianapolis Colts against the Tennessee Titans. And a reminder, we're only 2 games away now from the Super Bowl, which of course you can see exclusively live on Sky Sports 1 on Sunday, the 30th of January. This here tonight's a thriller too.
And no cues for the main attraction in this dome. Good crowd in, and Barry Jones involved here in an ever-thickening plot in this WBO Super Featherweight title fight. He might even have just nicked the last couple of rounds with his boxing, having been on the floor 4 times in the first 3 rounds.
Well, it's a big improvement down in every one of the first 3, and then, you know, might caught a share of the next, and then win the last. I mean, that's getting better. It's starting to turn around a bit.
Only 3 men have gone further than this with Freitas.
Well, I said when he came in, John, with his style, he's easy to underestimate, but he is effective.
Slightly more concerned look on the face of Freitas, who's doing noticeably less. Maybe he's trying to conserve himself.
Yeah, I think he's a smart fighter, and I think he's trying to reserve his energy. What he's trying to do now is draw Jones in. You know, he's got the power, Freitas, and all he needs is the opportunity to land the shot.
He knows, and he knows emphatically, that he can hit and hurt Barry Jones, who looked perilously close to defeat on more than one occasion in those opening rounds. He really looked like he was pondering whether to stay down, didn't he, from one of those over by the ropes.
Yeah, one of the body shots really hurt him, and that was a good right hand.
He's in trouble again here. Jones, head's clear though. He's needing all his famed resilience to get through crisis after crisis in the fight, Jones. Freitas has got him where he wants on those ropes again. Look at Jones trying to fight his way out of that. This is a man who's a fighter in his soul, this Barry Jones. Can he somehow take Freitas into the late rounds where the Brazilian might look weight-drained and very tired? He's a long way behind, of course he is, on the scorecard, Jones.
Freitas looking to get in position, set himself up, big punches again.
But having to fight in spurts now, Freitas, noticeably. where it was all-out assault in those first 3 rounds.
Conserved his energy better in this round, Freitas, and still maybe been more effective.
Yeah, he's got through with some heavy shots. It's definitely Freitas' round. Welcome back to Doncaster. That's just a bit of precautionary work by the left eye of Freitas, but there is a cut for Barry Jones, just by the bridge of the nose and near the right eye. They're working on it as you watch action from that last round.
Just showing the character, the braveness of Jones there, fighting off the ropes, a little flurry of punches.
But Barry Jones, and in that first round, could you possibly have foreseen that he'd get to the 7th? It looked impossible, didn't it?
It really did. I mean, he was in all sorts of trouble, but only his braveness, you know, has made him carry on.
Glenn's scorecard.
Well, that's how I've got him 6 points behind, so he's got an awful lot of ground to make up, but that was from the first 3 rounds where he was hurt in each of them.
All 10-8 rounds. The cut by the bridge of the nose and on the inside of the eye, but Jones is caught by a left hook as well. How many more of these can he take without wilting and folding up? There's a limit to anybody's resilience in the face of this kind of barrage. It's been a fantastic effort from Jones, whatever happens, isn't it, now?
Yes, it really has. I mean, he's done better than anybody thought he would. Really has been a good effort from him, and he's still in there, he's still trying to fight back.
And all this off no sparring by way of preparation, his choice, and only 1 fight in the last 2 years, the win over Chris Williams last June. Didn't spar for that one either, and didn't look bad, did he, to be fair?
Having to cover up Jones's thighs-like hooks, thudding in from Freitas.
Jones, who won his world title against the Colombian Wilson Palacios before being stripped because of his brain scare. It was only a scare. 10 doctors looked at him and thought that there was nothing wrong and that he could continue with his career.
Freitas looking for the big body punches as well. I think he's been hurt by something. Jones covering tightly up.
Having to fight on instinct at times, you feel. Jones in there is marked up now. His face, testimony to just how hard this has been for him. It's not a fight that's going to aid his longevity as a fighter, is it?
It certainly isn't. And
you don't want too many of these. Breathing very heavily, Barry Jones.
good respect for each other, good sportsmen, and they're touching gloves often whenever they do something, a little thing wrong.
Yeah, it's just business. They were skylarking around a bit earlier on in the week at the press conference, but that's all forgotten now. Freitas wants to win in a right hand, puts Jones down again, right on the bell, right on the bell. Bell went, and he had to take the man at 3-8 count. 8 count, and back he goes to the corner. Let's hope they give him a full minute from now, or will they take the minute as from when the bell went?
Not really sure. Not really sure where they will. I think they'll probably take it from when the bell went. He was counted after the bell, so that would go into his time, really.
And luckily for Jones, the punch landed simultaneously with the bell. No question of it being after the bell.
No, it was a heavy right hand. He was under constant pressure in that round, and he's starting to will. I think even Jones's strength and durability is being brought into question now. You just feel that his mental strength is draining away.
Well, maybe in that corner they feel that there still might be hope. They know about Freitas' weight problems. Do they think he'll tie up late in the contest? It's the only hope now for Barry Jones.
if there wasn't that hope, you'd have to wonder whether the corner on compassionate grounds should think about pulling him out sometime soon.
Well, they've got to look at it. I mean, they've got to look at it, you know, how many 10 8 rounds it's going to be. I mean, I've got him 8 rounds down.
Down for the 6th time in the contest. Body shot this time. Takes a look at his corner. Now they're waving the towel. His dad, Dennis, is waving the towel. The referee hasn't seen it. And the fight goes on, but that's interesting. Barry Jones's dad, I think, wanted to stop the fight there, but it goes on. And I think it probably could have been stopped at that point. Now they have thrown it in. He took a few more. The referee there was unaware of what the corner were trying to tell him for about 20 seconds. They threw in the towel. It is over. It was so brave from Barry Jones. And Acelino Freitas, taken as far as he's ever been taken before, wins and retains his title in the 8th round. 8 rounds of really ferocious, frightening punching.
Well, he's crying, Freitas. That was an emotional victory for him. That was hard. I think he had to dig deep there. I think Jones, you know, made him work very hard.
We'll never know, really, how close Freitas might have been to folding up because of his weight problems.
Well, I think that's something they've got to look at. I don't think this fighter can be at this weight for that much longer. I mean, he's desperately struggling. I think, look, you know, Barry Jones put him on the floor. He's not a puncher. You know, there's got to be a problem there. I think he'll be moving up shortly.
Great feeling between the fighters, but I think they want to keep him at this weight and maybe getting him a big payday with maybe Floyd Mayweather or Diego Corrales.
Yep, that's what they'll be trying to do, but you've got to look at the, you know, the sense in doing that. They could destroy their own fighter.
Well, how big a puncher is Acelino Freitas? Put it this way, Barry Jones, never down in his life, was on the floor 6 times.
Yep, he's a big puncher. It was his father, I think, who was paramount in wanting the towel put in, and that was wise, because there was no way he was going to win it back from here. He didn't have the power to hurt him. He was a mile behind on points, and that was the right decision.
They threw it in, and interesting that this argument about whether fathers should be in the corner.
On this occasion, I think yes, because, you know, the father, you know, it wasn't compassion, it was common sense.
Absolutely.
And that was the thing that mattered. They threw the towel in. There was no way back for him. He'd been brave, he'd proved enough, but it was time to get him out of there.
It was exactly the right decision by the corner, and the referee a bit slow to react to it.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 50 seconds of the 8th round, the referee has stopped the action. Barry Jones in no position to continue. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner and still WBO Super Featherweight Champion of the World, Acelino Freitas.
That was something, wasn't it? A brave Welshman and an outstanding champion from Brazil. More will be heard of both, certainly. Still to come here, the thoughts of Barry McGuigan on that performance. We'll hope to get reaction from Barry Jones as well, and more action to come in the Central Area Flyweight title fight here in Doncaster tonight. Roberts against Gaskin, that coming up shortly. Fantastic hand from the crowd here, well deserved for Jones. And it was a much better fight than anybody expected, to be truthful with you. He's a bit of a...
Oh, what a fighter. You know something, I don't think the anxiety and the tears afterwards was so much to do with his weight as it was to do with the contractual anxieties and the annoyances that he's had up to the fight. I think it just all took its toll on the young fella. And bear in mind, he lives in Brazil, which is an awful lot hotter. Most of his fights over that side of the world, and he will be able to make the weight easier. And I think he should hang around as super featherweight. There are some mammoth unification fights between him and a number of other great champions.
More on the future for Freitas shortly, but here's the brave Mr. Barry Jones with Ian Dark.
Well, Barry, we were wondering how on earth you got through that. No one's ever taken him further.
Yeah, it's ironic. I put someone down, so I never knock nobody down. I knock it down, I get stopped. There we go.
What were you thinking? Let's take it chronologically. In those first few seconds, a left hook, and he was on the floor. You must have thought, hello, I'm in business here.
Well, we watching him, and we know that he throws a looping right hand. I was just trying to wait for him to throw his big looping shots and just come inside with short left hooks, and it worked. But he's not just powerful, he's very fast, and I think it's the speed. He is the most powerful fighter I've ever met, but it's the speed more than the power. Added with the power, the speed is, you can't see him coming in and he hits you, and every shot he hit me with was, you know, never been hit like that before in my life.
I was going to ask you about that. You've never been down in your life, and you've been boxing since you were 10. Can you describe the feeling of those kind of punches? Because they looked frightening from where we were sitting.
They were hit, the body shots really took him out. It's funny because we're watching tapes of him, and he don't throw a lot of body shots, and I wasn't worried about him. And the ones that really hurt me were the body shots earlier on, and that's exactly what I was hoping to do to him, and it sort of worked in reverse. But no, I done my best. He won, maybe, you know. He was, at the end of the day, he was better than me, and what can I do? No.
People have been saying that maybe he's sort of, they've compared him with a young Roberto Duran. Is he in that kind of class, do you think?
Well, I don't. Roberto Duran's a legend, but he is definitely very, very good, and you know, obviously the best fight that I faced because he beat me. But you know, I hope he goes on from strength to strength. It just reflects good on me if he goes on to beat everybody.
You didn't spar for the fight. Tell us why, because people who have read up the press will say, oh, that's because of the brain scare, and you were trying to save the wear and tear. What is your answer?
No, it's nothing to do with that. It's just been, you know, just the way I fight. I don't usually get hit a lot, you know. Maybe one that it didn't look there tonight, but you know, just the way I box, and I only use sparring for distance and timing. So I've been doing that on the pads, and my father's been hitting me back with a punch pad. So I felt that was enough, to be honest. I don't, you know, it's no point taking sparring, taking punches all the time.
And you had no objection at all to the decision by the corner, and it looked a good one to us to throw in the towel.
Yeah, to be honest, I could have went on, but I was, you know, it was the right decision. I wasn't winning the fight, and you know, fair is fair, the best man winning. Yeah, well, I could hear them saying stop it, and I just couldn't. I couldn't throw back in fear of getting hit back with a hard shot. So you know, that's life.
Fantastically brave performance, and I think you gained in defeat. Well done tonight.